I couldn't not do this. You know, when I see Kotaku is on strike, it just signals a video. Now, I do want to be pretty specific and pretty clear with my words here. I don't wish for like bad things to happen. I really don't. When I talk about these companies dying out, when I talk about these people just being pathetic, and you know, if Kotaku closed tomorrow, which ironically they've been closed this entire week, I wouldn't, mind it. Like, obviously that can be taken a couple different ways. Ultimately, I believe in second chances. I believe in like fixing yourself. Ultimately, these people have made the bed that they are now dying on. That's truly what it is, okay? These people have been bad, and this company, this site of Kotaku, has been bad for so long. To say they deserve it, I get it. It's tough to say that, but you either improve and you get better, or you don't. You become a laughingstock. Nobody likes you. You do several things to upset gamers. You do several things to upset the gaming media that's not you. You do several things to upset the gaming development side of things. And then suddenly these things start to happen to you and nobody really feels sorry for you. So I'm not wishing for people to lose their job, especially in the world you know what I mean? In the world we live in, I don't want people to lose their jobs. I don't want people to be living on the side of the street, right? But like, you need to work hard. You need to like drop the garbage that Kotaku does and improve. That's what I ultimately want. I want these people to improve, or I just want other sites or other YouTubers or other influencers, Twitch streamers. I want us to get the same opportunities that sites like Kotaku, IGN, etc. get. So that's kind of like my opening statement. So the news here is Kotaku has gone on strike. Technically, Gizmodo, right? So the overarching thing of Kotaku, along with a couple other websites as well, their staff is gone on strike. There's been, as far as my knowledge is, no, and this is what Forbes even says, no new articles, no nothing since Monday. They don't want you to go on Kotaku right now, right? Because obviously you'd be supporting it, and they're on strike. They're on strike. They're in a union, obviously, and they're looking for better things. Now, I will read out to you what these better things are. More inclusive healthcare for trans and gender expansive employees. Salary increases in the wake of the pandemic and during rapid inflation. Well, I thought that's weird. Better family leave, which is currently too limited. Allowing for work from home flexibility and getting management to stop demanding remote workers move to New York City. Not enough consistent work on diversity efforts. So, none of that, well, not none. Most of that stuff really, I think, is them kind of like reaching. I don't know how important most of those things actually are to the people that work at Kotaku. I truly don't. Specifically, I laugh at the money one because it's like full-timers there make a ton. They make they could laugh at most people in the world of how little they make compared to them. Now, sure, maybe like freelancers, if that's what they're talking about, right? Maybe they don't make as much. Besides that, are any of these things dramatically, day to day, really ruining the lives of these people? No, not really. Now, here's the deal. When it comes to unions, I'm not actually all that controversial with them. If in a union, or if in an industry, right? If you're a skilled worker, a specifically skilled worker, right, and you're being taken direct advantage of, and you can notice that, and again, like if you're trying to protect your craft because there's very rare people that are like you, there's very few of you, yeah, you need to protect yourself, and you need to protect kind of the industry in general, right? Because if you're getting shorted one place, then all of a sudden other companies take note, they'll short people. So you kind of have to, like, in a way, you have to stick together, hence the idea of a union, right? Now, when it comes to writing for game journalism, you're kind of replaceable. So, like, maybe that's controversial. Honestly, I really don't think it is. If you're an electrician, if you're somebody with if you're a carpenter, I don't know if you guys know this, not many people are those things, okay? It's a very specific, specified role. If you're a gaming journalist, anybody can be, and that's not to bring down the idea of gaming journalism, because it's important and it's something that a lot of us like and a lot of us respected at some point or respect now or whatever, right? But so I don't want to, I'm not diminishing that. In a way, I'm kind of a gaming journalist because I talk about the games industry. I do a lot of other stuff here on the channel, but I also do that. But, we're very easily replaceable. Can we be real? We all have a camera somewhere. We all have a microphone somewhere. It could be on a phone. We all have it. So these people, okay, they're reaching. They're not that irreplaceable. In fact, they could easily just be kicked out. Another thing to remember is Kotaku consistently loses money. Remember, it was sold twice, and the second time it was sold years after the first, at least recently. It was sold for like, I don't even remember the exact amount. It was like sold for like 30-40% of what it was sold the first time. So it is losing money, and this is like highly reported. It loses money every single year. This site does not make any money whatsoever. They're bleeding money consistently. Nobody likes them. Nobody wants them around anymore. They complain themselves, right? They don't get invited to Far Cry events. They don't get review codes anymore. It's like, okay, so it seems like because of, and again, this is your own fault. So while, like, do I want to support big businesses? Do I want to support, like, the man in these situations? No, actually, I would rather do anything than support these gigantic companies. Like, I don't. Do you think I like Susan, the overlord of YouTube? I mean, I'll keep it quiet just so I don't get in trouble. But, you know what I mean? I'm not for those kind of things. But, and Kotaku, you put me in such a difficult spot because I hate you so much that I'm siding for you to lose. I'm siding for you to not get what you want. I'm siding for, and in fact, the actual, owners here, they put out a statement saying, hey, we actually gave them better things than they wanted a year ago. And now obviously they want more, and half of them were okay with it back then, but now they've turned their back. And it's like, okay, so I bet you some of these things that I listed, out loud, some of them probably were okay with it last year where they were at, but they want more. You have to be careful. Again, like going more into the idea of unions and like a collective bargaining agreement or like a bargaining agreement in general. Like, it's tough because you have to know your worth. You have to know your worth, and I think these employees at Kotaku think, and not just, okay, obviously it's more, but let's just, it really is Kotaku's kind of like the mainstay, and then there's the rest of them. And Kotaku, obviously, again, is falling apart anyway. You have to know what you're worth, and if you're Kotaku, are you even a gaming journalist? You don't want to be one. We know that, right? The site doesn't actually want to be a gaming journalist site, okay? And also, by the way, we know this, the company that owns all these guys, they're kind of, over the last little while, they've told whatever site, whatever is the sports one they own, they told them, like, stick to sports, like, stop bringing your politics into sports. It's very possible that they've gone to Kotaku and said, stop talking about Biden versus Trump in your PS5 review. Obviously not that specific, but can you please stop that? Because you're upsetting people. Nobody's reading you anymore. We're losing money monthly, yearly. We can't keep doing this. You're gonna die. We're gonna shut the site down. I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of stuff was brought up at some point. In fact, obviously their mission statement kind of alluded to it, and then also kind of didn't allude to it, right? It was kind of a mixed thing, but I don't know. I just feel like, and I'm not saying these things in general aren't important. I'm sure some of them are probably more important to some people than to others, right? And I'm sure all of them, to a various degree, are important to maybe everybody, right? But again, you need to know your worth, and if things are already pretty good for you, which they are for, again, at least full-time Kotaku people, right? Things are already really good. You can't keep stretching because, number one, like the dinosaur media, the gaming media, like an IGN stuff, like they are dying out. They're, IGN is obviously still top of the game in not in terms of actual quality, but if you think they're at the height of where they've ever been, no, they haven't been there in like 10 plus years. You know what I mean? So these sites are slowly dying out. You need to like understand that these people are not smart. These people. Like, Jason Schreier is the only one that actually, I think, had some sort of talent. Obviously, he's a horrible, like, an actual human being. It couldn't get worse than Jason. But, at least he, I don't know, just figured out, like, his true calling card. Some of these people, like, and I've said it before, and maybe it's like, well, Alex, you don't actually work there, so you wouldn't know. That's fair. But if I did work in an IGN or a Polygon or a GameSpot, I would do everything possible to diversify where it's not just that. Where I use that, not using it like I'm going to use the company, I'm going to like rip them off. No, you do the job, you do it 100%, you do it how they want and to the best of your ability. But also you have to understand, okay, well, I'm part of a dying part of the industry, right? Gaming journalism is not dying, but that form of it is. So it's like, I know this is dying. Why don't I start Twitch streaming? Why don't I start doing that? I mean, you see that all the time. You even see people like on YouTube that are part of like companies, right? That are even like, say, like a Kind of Funny, okay? I'm not the biggest fan, but you Kind of Funny. And then like you see Andy there, he does Twitch streaming on his own, and he's pretty darn successful. Like, that's smart. Because what if something happens with Kind of Funny? Well, then you have a second thing, and you're using one to help the other. It's even the same thing with, like, I use the big YouTube channel to push Twitter, to push my second YouTube channel, to put, like, that's what you do. And these people are very dumb. They don't leverage anything except for this, except for going on strike. Firstly, who cares? I didn't even laugh at that yet. And, the video's getting long, so maybe I won't even laugh at it. Nobody's even noticed. Obviously some, okay? It's an exaggeration. I like to do that. But no, like, who's really cared this past week? Have we lost any sleep knowing, or maybe not knowing, I bet you most people didn't know, that Kotaku is not operational right now. They haven't made new content at all. Does anybody care? No. And that really, and I hope, and I'm also pretty sure that there should be some analytic to back that up. And if I were the Kotaku workers, I'd be terrified where it's like, oh, we left and no one cares. Because that means you're replaceable. You don't actually matter. And again, do these things that they're asking for matter? To some degrees, I'm sure they do. Maybe just, again, some are more, some are maybe less. That's fine. But you have to understand where you're at. You don't hold any power. Your site is a bleeding site. You lose money yearly. You have no value. Nobody likes you anywhere. Fans don't like you. Like, let me say it one more time. The readers don't like you, for sure, okay? The audience that they probably attract has to be small. 10, 20, 30, 40,000 max, okay? It's small because nobody likes them. Then you have the gaming media, the IGNs and stuff. They've turned their backs on Kotaku because what Kotaku has done over the past year or two. Now, again, I think they're all idiots because really this has been happening for much longer than that, and now we're all just kind of coming to the same page. But whatever. Okay, so now everybody else has turned their back on you. And then you have the gaming developers and publishers who won't give you codes, who won't invite you to events anymore, who don't talk to you anymore. You're blacklisted from everybody because you're not important. And again, while I don't want these people sleeping on the side of the road, if you did it to yourself, then that's also on. You need to take some personal, this is actually to anybody. We all need to take a little personal responsibility, right? If I murdered my channel consistently every single day, I did something else dumb, yeah, maybe there'd be a sense where it's like, well, I don't want Alex to lose his job or to lose the place that he lives in or to, to have to move, I don't know, to do whatever, right? There'd be that small sense, but also it's like, well, also Alex did it. And he knew he was doing it the entire time. You know what I mean? That's the thing here. I don't want these guys to be homeless or to lose their job. I get it. That sounds really bad too, right? Losing your job during this time in history. But also, what you're doing. You're not trying to, again, in terms of using one platform to jump to something else or to help you with something else. They're not doing that. They're staying in the dying site. They're not starting anything new. They're killing themselves in the dying. You know what I mean? What do you expect to happen? What do you want to happen to these people? You know what I mean? I don't understand it. So, again, I don't care if Kotaku goes away forever. I do love laughing at them, right? So maybe in some ways I do want them to stick around. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, as I said, all my social media is in the description, along with our Patreon and YouTube memberships. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.